The person who invented the tower crane was definitely a genius. It can rise with the height of the building. However, to an outsider, the process of its elevation seems like an unsolved mystery. Today, I'll break through this window and reveal the construction process and working principles of the tower crane. The first step in constructing a tower crane is to lay the foundation. First, use rebar to make a frame, then fill it with concrete. Once the concrete is dry, you can proceed to the second step, building the main body of the tower crane. At this point, you'll need a crane to lift the steel crossbeams section by section and then fix them with bolts. This way, you get a tall tower frame, but that's not enough. You also need to install some important components on the tower crane, such as the operator's cabin, which is like the brain of the crane, controlling all its movements. Then there's the jib, which acts like the crane's arm, capable of lifting heavy objects. The counter jib is like the crane's tail, balancing its center of gravity. The counterweights act like the crane's feet, stabilizing its stance. The cables are like the crane's tendons and bones, supporting its structure. Once these parts are installed, you have a complete tower crane. Note that at this point, it still can't work, because it's not powered yet. The upper part of the tower crane can rotate, driven by a gear assembly. This gear assembly has a limit switch to prevent the crane from over-rotating. On the jib, there is a trolley that can move back and forth along the jib. This movement is powered by a motor. The motor has two sets of cables, one red and one green. The red cable connects to the rear end of the jib, and the green cable connects to the front end. When you pull the green cable, the trolley moves forward. When you pull the red cable, the trolley moves backward. The trolley has a hook that can lift heavy objects, also controlled by a motor. The cable for the hook is very long and passes through many pulleys to reach the hook's position. When the motor relaxes the cable, the hook descends. When the motor tightens the cable, the hook rises. This way, you can use the tower crane to lift various objects. If you want to raise the tower crane, you need a magical device called a climbing frame. The principle of the climbing frame is very simple. It's like an elevator that can move the upper part of the crane up along the tower frame. Inside the climbing frame is a jack that can lift the upper part of the tower crane and then lock it in place. The bottom of the climbing frame has several clamps that can fix the upper part of the crane to the tower frame. Before climbing, you need to remove the bolts on the tower frame, then use the hook to lift a standard section and place it on the climbing frame's guide rail. To ensure the crane's balance, you need to lift another standard section and place it on the other side of the crane. Then, you can start the climbing process. Just activate the climbing frame switch and it will slowly move up, bringing the upper part of the crane along with it. When the climbing frame reaches the right position, it will lock the upper part of the crane in place. Then you can connect the standard section to the tower frame and secure it with bolts. This completes one elevation of the tower crane. If you want to make the crane even higher, just repeat this process.